What up, Grizz Nation, and welcome back to another post-game show live here on the Bluff City Media Network. This is Grizz 101, and I will be your host. I am Daniel Greer. We have Nate with us making all kinds of noise in the background. Before we bring him in, he's talking about being on daddy duty, but he is back, ladies and gentlemen. But the Grizzlies get a surprising overtime win today as they win 151-148. Ja Morant looked like the Ja Morant that we all have come to know and love in the fourth quarter and overtime. I imagine we're going to get into all of that and much more tonight on the show. As we always do, we're going to bring Nate in. We're going to break down the game in its entirety plus the overtime. So you get a little bit more of us. You're welcome. And then we're going to get into a Grizz Trivia. I also have a little NBA trivia. That one's for you, King Meeks, a little double dipper. Then we have the look ahead, as we always do, by our guy Ryan. When I say always, I mean whenever he sends it to us, we have it. But that's all we got. Nate's can't wait. Let's go ahead and bring him in. Look at this guy popping bottles already, and the chat is blowing up. Thank you all for hanging out with us. If you're watching over on YouTube, we love you guys. Thank you for being the OGs. If you're watching on Twitter, do us a favor. Come over to YouTube. I promise you there's a lot more of you hanging out there and in the comments as we're going to be having and rolling through the comments as we always do. If you want to make sure you get your comment to the very top, the tippity top, we got the super stickers in the super chat, so go ahead and put those in there. But, Nate, I know Lauren's going to ask, but one, how are you doing, and what are you drinking?
One, I'm alive. I'm dead. I'm alive. I'm dead. I'm alive. No thanks to the mountain I was on last weekend. The first of many. I will be out again this weekend, so shout out. I don't know if you have a Friday game, but if so, we go. Two,
yeah, we do.
Blade and Bow.
Blade and Bow? I like Blade and Bow.
Good drink. Good
you collect
drink.
The keys.
But it was a little bit janky, and I mean, this is like I'm pretty sure this is Kentucky, so everything from Kentucky is a little janky, just like that win. So, cheers. Glad to be back.
Yeah, I like it. Well, tonight, Eskandarius Tolliver says, call 12, not 22. Listen, we didn't know who we were going to call early in the game, but somehow somebody answered. Jaren went to the bench in foul trouble. I already see our guy, Goon the Shooter's here, just kind of, he gets here early whenever Jaren has that meh game. Well, that's a guarantee that Goon the Shooter's been here. I think he was the first comment on the show already, but initial thoughts off the top rope, man. What you got?
I can't believe they won that game. I can't believe they won that game. Dude, like what a roller coaster. I was just a tornado, a whirlwind of emotions during that game. I was sitting there and I was coming down once they missed and Bradley Beal was shooting free throws. I'm like, God dang it, these a-holes. And then next thing I turn around, I'm like, oh man, Ja Morant is playing like Ja Morant again with a few seconds left in the game. Dude, a gutty win. Good to see Ja do Ja things at the end. I think he needed that and the team needed that. I still want him to say some crazy stuff after the game. He didn't say nothing wild in the post game interview with Fish. And I was like, I want you to get on some wild boy stuff. I want you to say something crazy there. Yeah. In a good way, but hopefully we see more of that. Like that's Ja remembering, hey, I'm Ja Morant. Because it hadn't looked like it for the most part this season. I have a couple of flashes. So, yeah, dude, what a win. They needed it. And I can't believe they got it.
As Satellite Grizz fan says, never a doubt. Never a doubt. Listen, I got to give a shout out to a guy that is more than likely watching. I don't know if he's ever on here on YouTube, but if he's on Twitter watching, shout out to Rip Jitty. One of a guy that I've grown to love in the old Grizzleverse side. I love Rip Jitty. If you don't follow him, it's at Ripped Kitty and it under ripped Jitty, but it's ripped kitty, ripped Jitty, whatever. Anyway, but you'll find him there. So just want to give a shout out. He just quote tweet the show, and so I want to give a little love back. But tonight the Grizzlies, honestly, like they did not look like they needed to be in the game. And listen, I have stats. I have all the stats tonight. All the stats. We're going through everything tonight. But this is now a stat show. You didn't know? But I will say that you hit on it very early on. Like, this team did not deserve to win. Like, not at all. And so, like, at the fact that they won this game looking as bad as they did, and Ja Morant, I don't know what he shot from three. 1 of 10. And it was that big one towards the end of the game.
12.
1 of 12? Wow. So my numbers are off then. I guess they stopped it. at at overtime. But yeah, I'm showing 1 of 10 already. Still showing 1 of 10. So either way, what a terrible just shooting performance by him. I don't know what to take of that just in general. Like, does that mean that you're impressed at the fact that he kept shooting, or like, hey, bro, like, you ain't got it tonight?
It gotten a little Dylan-esque at one point, but listen, he needs to keep shooting.
Yeah.
Does he need to keep forcing up threes when he's clearly frustrated he's not making threes? Probably not. But he does need to keep shooting. And then you saw what happened. We talked about it right when the game went into overtime. We're like, look what happens when Ja Morant remembers, like, hey, I'm just going to start playing basketball now. Quit thinking and quit getting mad at the refs and feeling some type of way. Right? Because he can make all those shots, right? It's just like a frustration thing. But, what do you get? How many shot attempts tonight? 25.
At this point, I'm looking at the wrong thing, so I got to switch over.
Field goal attempts tonight. Yeah, dude, keep shooting.
28%. You win a game. Let me just mention this. You win a game when you're so-called best player. I consider him our best player still, just because of his energy he brings, what he is to this team, the city, whatever. He goes 7 of 20 times, 28%, 1 of 12 from 3, 8.3%. Let that resonate over you. I might have a chance at shooting 8.3%. Just saying. He did go 14 of 14, which is 14 free throw attempts is a big number. So he hasn't had that in a while, but he probably deserved a lot more.
Oh, never mind. He's got to keep shooting them. Just keep shooting them. Keep getting them up. He needs to lead the team in field goal attempts unless it's like a big Jaren game or a big Bane game, right? Like this passive Ja Morant crap is not going to fly. It just isn't. Yep. I don't care what's going on. Like, hey, we're gonna pass the ball around. Everybody gets to shoot. And I'm like, I saw somebody like look off Luke Kennard for like a Vince Williams 3. Like Luke and Dez both pass up a 3 for a Vince Williams 3 in one possession. I'm like, no, don't do that. Like, but yeah, keep getting them up, man. That's what you need. You need an aggressive Ja Morant that leads the team in field goal attempts for this team to be what it is going to be. But it's just a hilarious game because let's say coming into the game, I told you the Grizzlies are going to put up 48 threes and they're going to shoot basically 42% from 3.
We ain't winning that one, bro.
No, you'd be feeling awesome about that. 42% on 48 threes. That's great. That's a great game. You hit 20
Oh,
threes.
yeah, yes. 40, yes.
But if I then told you that the Suns were going to make more threes than you and shoot 57%, by the way, Royce O'Neal and Bol are going to outshoot Luke Kennard from 3.
Disgusting.
Like if you only had one of those facts, it would give you very different feelings about how this game was going to go. But hey, man, I love it. And listen, like, I know the Suns are not a good team, but dude, they could not miss tonight. I mean, they were lighting it up. To be able to beat that team when they're making their jump shots, because you got 3 of the best jump shooters in the game. 2 of the best jump shooters and 1 who, when he's on, is a fantastic jump shooter. And then, by the way, Royce O'Neal, apparently. So, like, to stay in that game, to come through when you need it from Ja, to get into overtime, get down again in overtime, and then get your stops, get your buckets, and win. It's huge. A lot of ugly stuff in that game, but man, like, what an awesome win. I loved it.
Yeah, it was an awesome win. If you look at the just the numbers overall, if you look at the Phoenix Suns, they had 5 guys who scored 20 or more points, which is disgusting. And I know that we're at 148, 151, whatever. The Grizzlies had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in double figures, the lowest number, and then they had 3 guys, all 3 guys, big 3, all had 25 or more points tonight. Bane with 25 and 9 assists. John Morant had 29 with 4 rebounds and 8 assists. And Jaren had 28 points and 6 rebounds, 3 of 3 from deep, 5 of 7 from deep from Jalen Wells. Like, there's so many good things that happened, but they honestly, they did not look like they deserved to win throughout the entire game. It just looked like they were so back and just finally like figured out a way. So it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy they won that game. I'm still kind of taken back, like, oh my God, like we actually won a game in the clutch.
Yes. Like, and you saw Ja do Ja things. Like, I just keep saying it over and over again because you need that so badly for this team to be its best version. But dude, it's like every time Grayson Allen got an open corner three,
Oh my God.
what are you guys doing? It was like back to back to back possessions. But it's the same thing. You played, like Keith was saying a minute ago, the best version of the Phoenix Suns. Like, that's like what the owner was envisioning with blinders on view when he decided to bring this team together. And when they're doing that, they're like, dude, they put up what, 140-ish before OT. How much did they put up in regulation? 137.
137 at the end of the game.
137 regulation. To beat that team when they're shooting that kind of percentage is a great win. So, to do that when you are clearly not doing everything you mean to do it's a good win, man. It's a fun game. It's a fun game. The Grizzlies needed a game like that, I think. Everyone's talking like the Magic win, like you needed that kind of emotional win over the Magic. It didn't feel like that when I watched that game. Like, I'm glad they got the win. They needed the win.
Yeah.
Like, this was a game where the Grizzlies like had to fight and claw and like have some piss and vinegar in them to pull it out, and they did.
Piss and vinegar.
Yeah. Listen, I still like I've moved all over the world now, but I was raised in Tennessee. It's still in there. Yeah, they needed it, man.
Yep. So you know, if I have to, if you had to pick one that's worse, Edey coming off of his guy and not completely switching into Mason Plumlee, just letting him walk down the lane wide open deep into the game, or leaving Grayson Allen just wide, buck naked open every single time. Which one would you choose?
I can't tell if it was my internet or your internet.
I think it was you. Okay. You froze.
Yeah, you froze. But it's going to be the Plumlee one. I can't blame him for Grayson Allen on the perimeter. But listen, man, I've been proud of Edey. I thought he played really, really well in the second half of that Cavs game, which I know we didn't do a show for, but I thought he played really well in that. I thought he had a pretty solid game tonight, too. I think Edey's continuing to grow. I still wish to have a rookie center, but I think he's doing well. Girth!
Marcus? Is this real? I didn't hear him say girth tonight.
I didn't either, but hey. One of us. One of us.
All right, I'm gonna ask our guy, who's the guy that makes all the videos. I'm gonna ask him if he can somehow pull the clip where he hears girth, and I'm gonna make that. Huh? No. Yeah, we do need a timestamp. Lauren said we need a timestamp, but yeah, I'm curious where that is. No, the guy who makes all he cuts Eric NBA or whatever his name is. Anyway, Marcus, if you know where, I will rewatch the game. Like, I just need to know kind of the idea. I don't want to watch the whole game. Anyway, but let's get back to one of our guys, Titan MVP. He just showing love completely on here. So I want to thank you enough. Can't thank you enough for kind of just always, look, bro, I promise you, we will always answer your questions or anything that you have to say. So if anybody has anything, follow Titan MVP's role. Whatever he's doing it right. But in all honesty, looking at this game, do you think this was a pivotal moment? And I don't want to put this completely too way up there, but is this a moment potentially that could change the mojo of this team?
Could. Yes. Could it be? Yes. It's hard to say with, they've had what felt like sparks throughout the season, and they haven't really tended to carry over. But I feel like this has never been a great time of year for them either. I always feel like the All-Star break's kind of weird for this team. They don't always come back locked in. Maybe I'm making that up just to cope, but it's just the general feeling that I have. But the main thing is, can it spark Ja Morant?
Right.
That's it.
That's the biggest thing.
It's the only thing. It's the only thing this team is missing right now. If you want to say personnel, just in the long run to be able to match up against some of these best teams, probably need a better roster to go win it all. But for this team to be the best that it can be, you're really just missing a locked in, engaged, full throttle Ja Morant. Yeah. So if that can get him there, then yeah, man, absolutely could be.
So he had 3 assists in overtime, which is big. Like, it's 5 minutes, right? But I feel like that he had the ball in his hands, and I haven't looked really. We were trying to get ready for the show and kind of go back and forth, but I'm curious if when I go back and watch it, if it'll look like a little different offense, if it'll look like he's got the ball in his hands and he's attacking and creating off of those attacks, because the way he can control the basketball and control the game will be how the Grizzlies go. If he can control the ball and he can do it like that on a consistent basis, and just getting into the middle of the defense, that will be where this team succeeds the most. So we'll see. But I want to go back and watch it. But Art just asked a question. Did Will Bagley ever play? We'll probably get into that a little bit more a little bit later on, but I think he will. But I don't think that he's going to play in these big games. But just know, like the Grizzlies, just looking at their schedule, this is a tough stretch. They have the Knicks on Friday, and then we get into March, and then it's Saturday with the back-to-back. That could be potential, especially against the Spurs team where more sit. Because of Friday, Saturday, Ja rolled his ankle. Who knows what happens with that? And so you have that back-to-back, and then you have another game Monday, and then you have Wednesday for the Thunder, right? So it's Friday, Saturday, off Sunday, Monday, off Tuesday, Wednesday. There's a lot of games back-to-back to back-to-back. And so I bet some people sit here and there. I don't think they'll push everybody at that point. That's where I think he gets his minutes if he does. So we'll see. But I think we could use him, but it depends on how well he can play in this system. It's all going to take time. But what else you want to get into? Anthony has a question about the last play, and I thought they actually did, because I was watching Santi, and I believe he was guarding KD, and I think KD did a swipe through to get back to an open shot, and I thought Santi was trying to foul him and just completely whiffed, and it was just a wide open shot.
I don't know. I think Ja was going to foul him, and then was like, "Man, if he hits that wild shot, then so be it." I disagree with the sentiment, but Ja was running out. It would have been his 6th foul. That's the only part of it. It would have fouled Ja out. He was the only one that could have gotten to him to foul him, which is hilarious because KD could have just gone straight to the bucket and dunked it in 1 second. But obviously, I don't think they had any more timeouts left, so it probably would have made sense. Yep. But maybe Ja was like, it's my 6th foul. If something crazy were to happen, I want to be available for double OT, whatever. But I think he was just like dog hand hitting that shot and just let him do it. I don't know though.
Okay. Let's go through a couple of the guys real quick. We'll roll through some of the just some guys. If you have anybody that you want to kind of put on here, but again, we see, and I see Marcus has been here. We saw no Scottie Pippen Jr. again tonight, right? Did I call him Scottie Pippen Jr.? Is that right? No.
Yep.
Is it?
Yeah. Scottie
Why
Pippen
am I
Jr.?
second guessing myself? I'm sorry.
Know.
I didn't see him. He was under the coach's DNP. My bad. He's a long way down there. Let's go to the bench first. BC. I thought BC had good minutes tonight. He was a +5 overall, 14 points, 6 of 10 from the field, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, like nothing crazy. 21 minutes, which is the second most. Any thoughts on Clark? Let's just go with Clark for right now.
Always good minutes from BC, man.
Yeah,
he's just always awesome.
Yeah,
and it's good to see too. At the beginning of the year, it did not look like that. We're like, are we ever going to see the BC impact that we used to see in the past? And lo and behold, it took him a while. It took him a few months to find it, but he has looked like BC, and BC plus, because he's always locked in on defense too. That's like the only real knock I had on him in the past is he gets lost on defense too often, and he doesn't get lost on defense anymore. I bring it up every time we talk about him because it's so good to see that improvement. But man, he's been awesome. Yeah, huge block on Beal there towards the end as well. I mean, BC's been great, dude.
And the tip in,
yep,
huge like that. I think that the tip in's way bigger than that block, and just in all honesty, but I just think that tip in was huge, just for the way that Ja missed it and then the tip in. So it was really nice. So I think that Clark does have the bounce back finally. And Keith, me and you both, brother, forgive me. Forgive me.
Listen, man. Listen, that's at the beginning of the year. We were all like, "Is he gonna be back?" But he is, man. And it's awesome to see.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, let's keep going through it real quick, and thank you, Chris Anthony, for your super sticker.
Super sticker.
I don't know if it works like that. Listen, I don't know enough about it, but I think you're supposed to put something in there other than super sticker. I think you're supposed to get an actual sticker or like an emoji with it, unless you're just smarter than me and you're just making fun. Anyway, we thank you. We appreciate that. But going to Aldama. Santi, 5 of 7 from deep. I thought dude played so well tonight. And I know a lot of people, Wayno Aldama, your cousin, like I think that he played one of the best games I've seen him. He looked under control. He didn't have anything crazy. And I don't know if I'm just feeling the vibes from Santi right now, but he looked like what he's been all season, the best player off the bench.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about Santi. I've been such a Santi defender all year. And then I'm watching like certain games and I'm just like, what the hell are you doing? And I just get so mad. But then he comes in and he just makes solid plays. And one thing you always give Santi is he's just there for it. Like he's never going to get just derailed by a huge moment. Like it's never going to be. Now, maybe he plays soft for a big man. Like that is fair, and that might be from Mrs. Qualls, but there's certainly an argument for that. But he's always going to show up for you, and he's just always like, dude, he may freaking accidentally give a kid a concussion in the first row. He's going to come back, and he could very likely drain the next shot on the next possession. And so you do love that about Santi, but tonight, like, there's no doubt about it, dude. He's a huge reason they're still in that game.
Yep.
Late. I mean, played really, really well. Like you said, he was in control all night.
Yeah, and I agree, and he's been, as Lauren's saying here, a unique player. Like he does the things that we need him to do, and when he's off, he's off. He's on, he's on. Like that is the type of player. But I have to pull up Kendarius Tolliver's. One, I want to give you an award for trying. Okay, just for the simple fact that you tried. I appreciate this, but Kendarius, that is not how you spell Storiqcavic.
I don't know. Now that you're saying it's not how it's spelled, it makes you think it might be how it's spelled.
But Kendarius is saying that Santi is Peja Storiqcavic, and I know that is not. That's not it. I'm not sure there's a Q there, but I appreciate it. I think he is that type of player because if you look at Peja, like way he. The way he plays his game, it's not as like fluent as Peja Storiqcavic plays, or Storiqcavic. I might have said a bad word there. My bad. But I will say that he has the same look. It's probably the beard. Probably playing on that, but it is a little bit of the finesse. But he, like, dude's a gamer. Like, when it comes down to it, you're not gonna rely on him all the time. But man, I love it.
That's
Marcus,
amazing.
who
Listen,
can spell that?
I was about to say that all that shows is that you were able to decide you're going to type that in. You're like, I'm not going to worry about Googling this. And I respect that because I'm one of those people who gets really like OCD and nervous about that. I have to go Google things to make sure I spell them right. And it makes me a weaker human being. So I appreciate it. Sorry, I heard like nothing about your quote unquote analysis. I was just thinking about stuff.
You said this is the episode title.
All right, let's. I don't know. Yeah,
Goon said he's Andre Kirilenko, and I don't see that. I don't see that as much. I liked Andre Kirilenko, but I don't know if I see it as much. But whatever.
Well, let's move on. A good game from Santi.
I love it. All right, sorry. I love that, Kendarius. I had to hold that. I saw it, highlighted it, did a little back around. That's it right there. Storiqcavic. I knew Art. Look at Art. Dude, Art. I bet Art's smarter than us.
Smart Art.
Smart Art.
Art.
I don't want to go the bad yet. Let's stay on the good.
It's not much bad other than defense.
All right, let's go. Let's lump in the big three together. I'm okay. I don't want to spend. We're already halfway through the show. Okay. Jaren, 28 points just overall. He was the lone minus of the big three. He was a -2. Ja was a +6. Bane +12. I don't worry about that stuff too much. But Jaren, 28, 6 rebounds, and assists. He went 3 of 3 from deep, 11 and 13 overall. Like, the dude shot well, played well. Looked like he had his hand in the cookie jar way too many times. Ja Morant, we talked to him a lot. 29, 4 and 8, bad shooting. Bane, 25, 3 and 9, 3 and 9 from deep, 8 of 15 overall. And he hit on the big three.
I'm not mad about anything in this game from any of them. I mean, Ja obviously was rough until he got it going late, and that's all you want. You want to see him get it going late. You want to see him be the superstar. You hope it's a catalyst. We've already talked about that ad nauseum. Bane looked really good tonight. I thought he did a much better job of letting it fly from deep and then letting that sort of be the catalyst for him to be able to drive and do that, which is what you need, right? That you want basically 6+ attempts from deep from him per night. Not this, I'm going to take 3 threes and drive the whole time stuff. Jaren, did he get caught in the cookie jar? Yeah, sure. Does he need to keep his hands up? Yeah, sure. It's absolutely criminal whistle for a former defensive player of the year and likely repeat defensive player of the year. I mean, sure, they're fouls. Bruh, there's a whistle that certain players get. And for some reason, Jaren Jackson Jr. still doesn't get it from certain refs. So, yeah, I'm not mad at all about Jaren tonight. Thought he played really well. Felt like there was a brief moment in time he got froze out. But for the most part, I thought he was dominant while he was still in the game. So, not mad about any of that. Encouraged by a lot of what we saw from them all.
Yeah. Well, in the end of the day, like, Bane had the off game last game. As Matt Skate News is saying, like, Bane main. I love that name. But the fact that he had such a bad game against the Cleveland, and then this game came out and had a much better game. It wasn't the shooting from deep as it probably liked. 3 of 9 is probably a little off for him, but the fact that he's getting 9 up just shows that he's getting into the game, and he's honestly, like, going to get the shots up, and he's going to go out swinging. And I'm okay with that. Like, yeah, if you shoot too much, like Ja, I'm not even that mad about it. I'm like, 1 of 12 is like, my God, but that's what they made him do. Like, they made Josh shoot 3-pointers, but they just didn't fall. But overall, if you didn't, you got 4 of, what is that? 21, 4 for 21 between those two combined. That's a little rough, but besides that, it's fine. Jaren, the only thing I say is about the foul trouble. The foul trouble wasn't good. Being like having that many stupid fouls, it just seemed like it was just like, one of those nights. And I don't, dude, I don't give much at all on that. Just the some fact that you're going to have those nights. I know everybody wants to go back to Jaren is a fouler, dude. No, he is not. He's not a big fouler. He's fine, but I think he'll be better off because of this.
Yeah, it's fine. I didn't think there were a bunch of stupid fouls either.
Yeah.
I thought the last foul was really the only true stupid foul he had, and I mean it's questionable. That was a foul. It was close enough that they were willing to challenge it.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, I didn't feel bad about his fouls tonight either. I
Yep.
thought they all played well. I mean, Ja was the only one who I thought was having a rough game, and then clearly he turned it around when it mattered most. So,
yep.
Yeah, not bad.
No doubt. All right. So the only thing I want to talk about is that could be bad. And B card, I do like this. Tripp selling for threes against the Cavs and Mobley, right? Because of the inside presence, but bullying Phoenix, it's annoying. Can't pick and choose. They need him to have the energy each game. I agree, but you kind of have to take a little bit of what best benefits you. I think settling for the threes is more my problem than being the overexertive against the smaller Phoenix. I think you have to play somewhat more in the middle, and I think it's kind of where you're probably going for there is staying more locked into stepping out when you need to, but still being able to back down a guy like Mobley. Like you have to be able to figure out a guy to be able to back down Mobley and Jared Allen. Like that's just picking and choosing is fine, but you just can't. It can't be one extreme or the other. Like that's where we're at. Yeah, as you agree, I think we're in the same spot there. He's incredible, but sometimes he gets to where he falls in love with a certain way and won't go back to the other way. But it has to be more in the middle, which is fine. But let's get to the only negative that I see so far. And I said this, and I put this out on a tweet, but 8 minutes again tonight, or not many minutes again, but 8 minutes tonight for GG.
GG.
No points, 3 assists, a rebound. GG struggling. What do you make of GG and his struggles as of late?
I didn't feel like he was struggling tonight.
Bro, it's been bad.
I mean, it's been hit or miss. It's gotten better lately, but I think it's just one of those things where it's all a trust factor in these games. And, for everyone who gets mad at Jenkins about his rotations is also going to be the ones that get mad that GG is not playing, where he cut it down to basically 9 guys tonight. Really closer to 8. No, Vince got enough minutes. But, it's all about, he just hadn't had the time to be with the team, right? That's really all it is. And he doesn't really quite know where he fits. And when it's going awesome, right? I mean, and clearly that spot is there for him at some point. But right now you've got a handful of guys that know exactly where they fit with the rest of the core team. And they're trusted by the coaching staff to be where they need to be. But I think it's just a matter of like going with who you're going to go with. And right now, GG is one of those guys who's on the lower end of the trust. Well, I don't think there's anything super terrible about how he played tonight. Obviously had the game against the Magic where he had a lot of big shots. Like it's just a matter of time for GG. I'm not reading too much into it. I don't think it's a huge negative by any means. It's just one of those things where they trust Wells and Vince defensively, and that's going to trump what GG can bring offensively unless he's really showing a big flash that night.
No, and that's the thing. I'm not going to pile into the guy. It's 8 minutes, but he just looks like he's out of it. Like he just looked like he's struggling to find it. And this is now his 15th game. I think I saw tonight. This might be his 16th. I don't know if the stats updated yet, but either 15th or 16th game overall. He's never played in college. His team wasn't good, and he was good. Last year, when he played when they weren't good, and he got better and was really good towards the very end of the year. Like I don't know if he can figure out a way to be good and be, I guess, an available player on a winning team. That's where it's going to come to, is whether or not he can be a guy that can find his role, because he can hit shots, but his defense has been atrocious. He looks lost a lot on defense, but on offense, dude, he looks so lost. Like he's trying to like bring his man over to set a pick. And like and like Santi was like, what are we doing? It just looked like he was struggling with that and trying to find his way. So he's going to find his way and he's going to hit some big shots, but it's going to take time.
Well, and I'm with Art on this. I think Gigi's talent makes it harder for him to fit in with the team because he is capable of more than swing, take the open shot. Like he is a shot creator, he is a scorer, he's a dynamic player, which means you can't just fit into ABC role. You've got to be
Right.
you got to be one, willing and able to do more. But two, you got to know when is the time to do more. And that's the hard part when you're playing next to Ja, Jaren, Dez, and some of these other guys, right? The core roster. It's different than last year. So I have no worries at all about him figuring this out. I don't know that it's this year. I would hope it is because he just really raises the ceiling once he figures it out. But it's the fact his talent and his skill level makes it harder for him to figure it out than it does for like a Jake or a Wells or a Vince at this point in time, right? Like for those guys, it's easy. Are you open? Okay, you can take the shot. Are you not open? Okay, dish it. By the way, Vince, are you over for the night? Okay, I don't care if you're open. Swing it anyways, right? Like, so it's Gigi just has a lot more to be able to put together. And he hadn't had the time with the team. Right?
No.
A lot of stuff going against him this year. I'm not worried about in the long run.
So coming back from injury, playing, early in the season, learning a new offense, and still Sherman takes a shot at me right in the eye. Bro, I'm not being negative, but I have to talk about Gigi. I do have to talk about Gigi. I just haven't liked how he's been playing, very well as of late, but he will get much better. So don't take it as negative. Listen, I had to bring it. I had to ask the question. That's what I'm here for. I'm a professional. Sherman. Professional.
I've got one for you.
All right, let's go. Hold on. Matt Skate News.
Gotta go skate.
I
was imagining like healing out of the YouTube room, just healing away from his phone or computer, wherever he's turning in from. So enjoy it, Matt. Be safe. Wear your pads. But
pads.
Yeah, man, elbow pads. Safety first, dog. What are you talking about? Are you crazy? Do you think they'll let Jalen Wells win Rookie of the Year?
No chance.
You think it's going Castle?
It has to.
It's so lame, dude. I think you're right. Just to be clear, but it's so lame, and it's such Adam Silver's NBA. Can we
why?
Can we just like get a necromancer to resurrect David Stern or something? I'm so tired of this dude running the NBA. But yeah, I think you're right. I think they won't let him win, even though he absolutely should.
Yeah, Lauren's asking, should he or will he? Like, there's a difference. Like, should he? I don't know. I'd have to look at we're in such a bubble, and I try to get out of my bubble because I have to do the sports shows and betting, but mainly like our stuff is like digging into the NBA game and across the board, and so I have to know a lot of these guys. But my thing is like, do the numbers match up? Yes, no, but like, Stephon Castle is fine. Like he's good, and he's going to play better than Wells at times, and Wells is going to play better than him at times. But Wells is diminished in his stats due to he's on a much better team compared to Castle. His team sucks, and he can put up better numbers. But the only issue that the All-Star weekend that won Stephon Castle the award for Rookie of the Year. That in itself, I don't care what the numbers end up saying. He will win the Rookie of the Year due to just that entire weekend and the show that he put on.
Just to be super clear with everyone, this is on Basketball Reference. I'm looking it up in real time. 3-0 regular season head-to-head for Jalen Wells. He's played more games than Stephon Castle. It's only 3 more, but whatever. Castle is averaging 1.3 more points per game than him, I don't know what
That's
their usage
it?
rates are. Yeah, exactly. I was about to say I don't know what their usage rates are, but I bet you Castles is a lot higher. Wells is averaging more rebounds. Castle's averaging about 2 more assists per game, and then they're neck and neck with both steals and blocks. Jalen Wells is shooting 10% better from three than him, 37 to 27. He's shooting 10% better from the free throw line, 82 to 73. He is shooting 10% better in effective field goal percentage, 55 to 46. And then he's winning in every other stat that you look at. It's not really remotely close, to be honest with you. But Castle will win it because he's the name and he was an all-star weekend. So,
well,
and also the other one is your guy who you are starting for a really good team in the West, who's also defending the other team's best player every single night.
Yes.
It has been all year.
Yep.
So, again, we're in Adam Silver's NBA, so what can go wrong will go wrong. He's a Murphy's Law of commissioners, but all the same, just another chip to add to our shoulder.
Well, if you give me a second, I might be able to figure something out here to be able to give everybody a look at what we're looking at. But you have to bear with me for about 2 minutes.
Also, looking at Keith, I'm bringing up what Keith is saying right here. So many comments at once. It's hilarious that Castle said he didn't want to go anywhere that he couldn't start, and then the Spurs immediately traded for Chris Paul and then traded middle of the season for De'Aaron Fox. It's like, okay. I wonder how this dynamic's going to work out. They just decided they're going to start them all, and that's gone super well so far. Do hate that Wemby's out for the year. That's a scary injury to be out for the year with, by the way. I don't know if anyone knows much about blood clots. They're super serious and scary.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's look at this real quick. I got this loading up right now, and then we're going to get to Grizz Trivia, and then we'll kind of get out of here. But I want to pull this up because I thought it'd be interesting to look at. And so if you can see it on your screen, everybody, we're just looking at the stats just overall. Jarrett McCain obviously was incredible this season, but he's gone. But if this is all done by just points, and so I want to tier it by points, like 11.4 to 12.5, so 1.5. But the field goal percentage, he's shooting better. You look at it, 1.9 and 3-point makes to 5 attempts. He's 3.7 attempts. Percentage is 10% higher on 3-point percentage, which is crazy.
On more attempts, by the way.
Yeah, on more attempts, which is nuts. He's out rebounding him. He's out rebounding him overall, 3.2 to 2.9. Looks like he has more assists, so he doubled him up in assists, 3.4 to 1.6. But the rest is fine. Like efficiency, they're neck and neck. So that's the thing is, if you look at these numbers, like I know this is just a quick chart that I want to see, but like it just shows like how close these numbers really are with these two players.
Yeah. You look through this whole list, it's like, what's the difference? Oh, one of these guys' teams isn't abject cheeks.
Yeah. No doubt.
I feel like that should be a separator if the numbers weren't neck and neck. Yeah. But it's like, dude, when you look at the percentages, this is not even close.
Yeah. And he's playing on a much better team. And even, you see Zach Edey up here. Like, Edey's playing well, like numbers-wise. And I know we see what we see, but it is what it is. Like, I think we can all agree that these stats – he's not going to win no matter what, but I think that he's outplaying him for sure. So, I don't know.
Well, he's also asked to do so much more. Like the defensive part of it is just never going to be taken into account, and it absolutely should be. But it would be taken into account if it was a role reversal.
Yeah.
Right. And Wells was the 4th pick, and Castle was the 39th pick. Anyways, anyway, it was just a fun little exercise, and Adam Silver's NBA is hell.
All right, well, let's go ahead and move on past this. But the Grizzlies do win 151 to 148. You're watching the Grizz 901 post-game show, and we'll get into a little bit more of the team. Nate hasn't been back here, so we wanted to make sure that we had some time. And looks like he's not going to be here Friday either. Just found out, just like you. But we want to make sure that we get to Grizz Trivia. Like I said earlier, this is King Meek's favorite thing, but with Grizz Trivia, I also have a little NBA trivia as well right behind it. All right, Nathan. This is your first question. This is a Grizzlies related question. It's about rebounding. There's been a concern within the fan base about the rebounding and mainly about Jaren Jackson Jr. But I want to ask the question, where do the Memphis Grizzlies rank in rebounding per game this season?
I think it's super high, right? I think it's like top 5, isn't it?
Well, you got to actually answer. I can't tell you. Hey, yeah, maybe.
Sorry, it's been a while. I'm Rusty Buckets over here.
It's been a while.
Been a while since I could. Great song.
People making guesses already. I like it.
Dang it. I saw the chat. But I'm going to say, I was going to say third. I'm going to stick with third.
Third. Final answer.
Final answer is third.
What do you think their number is?
I have no clue. I'm not guessing that.
Rebounding per game, 47.7.
47.7.
Pretty good number, right?
Mm-hmm.
47.7 is the second ranked team in the NBA this season for rebounding per game. Just goes to show that I know that a lot of people have been on Jaren's head, but they're still ranked second. But I want to keep asking a question. Who do you think's first?
Hold on. Shout out to Marcus. Continuing the chorus in the chat. Hold my head up high.
Is that Creed?
No, it's I was gonna say Shine Down. It's not Shine Down.
It's a white guy.
Stained. I think it's Stained, isn't it?
Sure, I have no idea.
Hold on. I'm gonna look this up while we're doing this.
White male.
Who do I think is first? Trust me, I've got it on a couple playlists, so it won't take me long. One of them is called "If You Don't Like At Least One Nickelback Song, You're Lying or Have No Culture." That is the name of one of my playlists. Who would be first?
If I told you the Charlotte Hornets were in the top 5, would you believe me?
I guess they miss so many shots. Somebody's got to catch them, so might as well beat them.
If I told you the Portland Trailblazers were in the top 5, would you believe me?
Boom! I know my grunge rock. It's Stained.
Okay.
Absolutely. Staind, Marcus. But spot on. That's all right. Hey, that's okay. We're right there with it. They have such a high field goal percentage. I don't think it would be them.
So let me give you the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, 7th. Okay. They're all terrible. So 3rd, they're not terrible. It's the Warriors at 45.9. Then it goes Charlotte Hornets, Portland Trailblazers, Utah Jazz, and the New Orleans Pelicans, the top 7. I didn't give you the first, but it just goes to show, like, those are some bad teams. I don't know if I feel good about this.
Do we want to be bad at rebounding?
We're good at rebounding, but we might want to be bad at rebounding. I'm not sure. Anyway, so
I will go sorry. Indiana Pacers.
I'm sorry. This is wrong. So it's only done by – that's not right. Just forget what I said. Who is first at rebounding?
I'm going to go Indiana Pacers.
Nope. The Rockets.
Okay. Rockets. That makes sense.
Yep. But the Rockets, and then I believe right up there, I still think it's right. Yeah. So the Warriors are still up at 3rd. I think they're tied for 3rd. But either way, another question, and I was going to do this one first. And so if I had to give you the offensive rebounding per games this season,
I think Grizzlies are first in that.
Second.
Behind
the Rockets.
Behind the Rockets?
Yep. They have 13.3 and the Rockets are 14.5. You know why?
Because they miss more shots?
Nope. Steven Adams.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
Steven Adams. All right, but I do have an NBA trivia question. This is for you, King Meeks.
Rip.
Because, listen, Austin's saying we are bad at rebounding. I agree, but we also are good at rebounding somehow. Like, it's just, it is what it is. Both can be true. All right, let's go to NBA trivia real quick. What team in the NBA has more wins this season than their previous 2 seasons combined?
The Detroit Pistons.
The Detroit Pistons is correct. I heard this stat and it blew my mind. The Detroit Pistons this season are 32-26. Last year, 14 wins. The season for that, 17 wins. A total of 31 wins.
I consider Detroit a sister city. Go Lions, one pride, all grit. Happy for the Detroit Pistons. I was rooting for their like absolute hellish existence when they kept extending the record for consecutive losses. So I feel like now I should be rooting for them to have success as well. Because listen, they've stuck it out. Right. That's where Wizards fans should go. Wizards fans should be Pistons fans instead.
Remember that we had one of the shows is called Marry a Wizards Fan?
Exactly. As loyal as it gets, baby.
All right, let's before we end the show and kind of maybe get off on some tangents, let's go ahead and look at the look ahead with our boy Ryan.
Oh man.
Let's look ahead to Friday night's home matchup for the Memphis Grizzlies against the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks, as we know, blew us out in the first meeting, beating us almost by 40 points. An embarrassing performance by the Memphis Grizzlies. The New York Knicks, however, have not been great as of late. And pre-All-Star break, they are 6-4 overall in their last 10, and they've lost their last 2 games coming back from the All-Star break. So this is a team who we know very opposite of the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies use a lot of depth, don't play big minutes. The New York Knicks, their starters an average 35 plus minutes a game, with players like Josh Hart almost averaging almost 40 minutes per game. So the Grizzlies got in trouble in that first matchup because they had 26 total turnovers. So let's see if the Grizzlies can get a little revenge here, limit the turnovers, and maybe depth will actually be a strength for them in this matchup and get a nice home win against the New York Knicks.
A nice little home win against the New York Knicks. All right, he did not say it's a blowout. That's important. And he didn't even say it was going to be a close one. So I don't know how I feel about this, because it's either like close or a blowout where he actually digs into it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Knicks?
I don't know. Depends on what version of the Grizzlies you get, I think. I mean, the Grizzlies are such a strange team because we know when they're clicking, they can beat any of these teams. We've seen them beat Boston this year in Boston, right? It's not if they can. It's, like they've been in a funk. Things haven't seemed right. And I think we all know, like, there's no secret it stems from Ja Morant. And, Ja has not been looking like Ja, acting like Ja, playing like Ja. If Ja looks like Ja, acts like Ja, plays like Ja, and you get Jaren, then things can go really, really well for you. Now, the Cat matchup is tough. 100%.
That's where it all comes down to for me.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. But you're going to need good rebounding from your wings. It's going to have to be gang rebounding. Being fast with the ball, being smart with the ball. But listen, I think the Grizz know they owe them one. I think all year long, the Grizzlies have looked like they're playing regular season basketball, except for games where they were like, hey, they got us. Now we're going to go get them. Yeah. And trust me, if there's any game that's on that list, it's this one. So we'll see. Maybe I'll show up on Friday night. Who knows? By the way, just so everyone knows, I told Daniel a month ago that I couldn't be on that show. That is a fact. But I'm still going to see if I can make it. We'll see. I might abandon the family event. Oh, no.
I don't believe you. Hey, King Meeks. Wrong show, bro.
I also don't think Bane counts.
Yeah. You have to have an exceptional game, I believe is what it is on that. The sky dog of the game. Shout out to Verno and his crew. But I think there has to be a chance where they take the reins off of Vince Williams a little bit. And that's what I'm looking forward to. Like, when does it happen? Like he's getting under 20 minutes almost every game right now. Like, when did the shackles come off a little bit and say, hey, go ahead. Like, let's put him up to 25, 30, and let's see what happens. I think that this could be a really good, gritty game that Vince Williams would help a lot. I'm curious, what does Jaren do? Like, Jaren should be able to play against a Cat, right? Because he does like to stretch. He'll take it down the post as well. But my thing is, this isn't an Edey game. And I don't think Edey should. He probably shouldn't even play in this game. I don't know who he would play against, because everybody can kind of stretch you out. And so I'm curious what we get out of our bigs just overall.
Yeah, I don't know what you do there. Hopefully you get this version of Santi.
I love this, by the way. I love this.
I saw B Carter. My my grandmother-in-law's name is Bilu Carter, and I was like, Bilu's in here throwing up emojis. I know it's not Bilu, but it made me laugh to think about it. But yeah, shout out. Thank you for coming in, and hopefully you feel like a part of the family. That's the whole point of the show. Hopefully you get a good version of Santi. I think Santi is such a big determining factor in games like that where you're going against other good bigs. And so I think you're going to need that. BC, I'm not really worried about. BC always plays solid. I do think you need to be super physical. Like you need to come out from the bat. I think Austin earlier may have mentioned that. You need him to play super duper physical.
Super duper
physical.
No.
I've been trying to clean up my language with the child around. So super duper has made an appearance. But I was just thinking about this. Like I would take the leash off of Vince, both from a minute standpoint and also from a, hey, Vince, why don't you go like wring a guy's neck tonight standpoint? I would love to see just some psychopath stuff. Put Vince and Wells out on the floor at the same time, just to be like, hey, we're going to just beat the hell out of you for a few minutes. Just let that be a thing. Put Lamar Stevens on there. That's okay. Hell's a place. It's not a bad word. We're going to stop that right there. But just put Vince, Lamar Stevens out on the floor, put Marvin Bagley on the floor and be like, hey, go put them in some pain for a few minutes and just let that happen. So,
yeah.
In all seriousness, physicality is going to be a key. I think you see a lot of events.
I'm curious. And that's what I know a lot of people are talking about, Vince and Santi, but also BC being a lot of the key factors. And I think that you have to have a little bit of toughness in these games because that's kind of where it all stems from. This New York Knicks team is not good defensively. No matter, I know that you think that they are because you see some of the names, but Jalen Brunson, dude, he is a traffic cone. Carlton does nothing to stop you, but wants to get the over top block. That's the only thing he tries to do is weak side over top, come down for a block just to get it. It's the highlight reel. And so besides that, I think you can take advantage of that. And I think that's what you have to take advantage of just overall, because if you look at the other guys, they're good on defense, but they haven't really meshed as a team defense because of Brunson and Cat. They're so bad.
Yep. But you said Cat so bad?
Cat is not a good defensive player.
No, but he's a great paint protector if you just let him stand in the paint, which the Grizzlies can tend to do.
Well, that's the issue is you stretch them out.
Yeah, sure. But the Grizzlies have had a bit of trouble stretching them out. You can't have pulled something up that says girth when I'm in the middle of saying stretching. That can't be a thing that we do. All right, I think we need to find a way to wrap up the show. Everybody go watch the fourth quarter of Luka versus the city of Dallas.
Yep, it is.
People of Dallas versus Nico Harrison, basically.
Yeah, right now it is 77-78 with around 40-ish seconds to go in the game. And my God, Dante Exum just took a elbow from the king, LeBron, to the face.
They call it a foul on Exum?
Probably. Used his face too much. Too much facial.
Adam Silver's NBA. Just getting cut left and right.
That's all we got. First of all, thank you all for hanging out. We'll see everybody Friday for sure, except for Lauren. Lauren let us know that she's going to Mardi Gras this weekend, and so she's not even going to watch the game. It's going to have a great time. So enjoy yourself. It should be a good time for sure. Yep. I've never been down to Mardi Gras, but I need to go sometime.
You wouldn't make it.
I wouldn't make it. All right, that's all we got. Any closing thoughts you have tonight?
Go Grizz. Basketball is fun when they win.
No doubt. All right, so we're gonna do the we're not gonna do Grizzleverse because we're so close to the next one. We're just gonna do the next one after the Hawks game. So if anybody's wondering that one is, whatever, you might not be, but I'm gonna make it a bigger Grizzleverse since we've taken so long. So it should be a lot of fun. And so anyway. Tune in for that one, but we'll see you all Friday night for sure. I assume that I'm going to get somebody else because it is Mardi Gras. Ryan could be down there. You could make an appearance somehow, some way. Either way, don't know, but we'll figure it out. But we'll see you all Friday night. Be nice and tell your friends.